here we are at the Etches collection, and this is the pliosaur, the giant pliosaur skull, which I discovered the snout of on April the 4th, 2022. And I tried to get it into my rucksack. In fact, I did get it in my rucksack, but then I was completely unable to stand up, so I was sort of rooted to the ground. And I had to do some quick thinking, and there and then I thought, this is the most amazing thing I've ever found, but I can't take it home with me. So then I thought it's too important for me to just have on my own, and Steve needs to have it for the Etches collection. So I rolled it up the beach, and I dug a big hole at the foot of the cliff, then I buried it in all the shingle, and then I marked the spot with sticks, and then I photographed the whole of the cliff face, which I always do when I've discovered something at the base of a cliff, to try and locate which could be its possible site up in the cliff. And I could see several sites. It was quite confusing because it was ventrally presented, so it was lying upside down, and all I could see was this big round thing with two smaller round things above it, which I didn't realise till later was the body of the skull, and then the two smaller round bits with the two jaws going in. And that was about, I would say, about 30 feet off the ground. But if you look at it, then, as you know, later on, Steve got a team together and was able to excavate the whole of the rest of it in one piece, which is amazing. Imagine getting all of that out and up the cliff in one solid piece. And he was helped by a farmer, Rob, who built this amazing contraption which they were able to hoist it up the cliff with. And when Steve eventually got it back to the museum, I saw it too. It was, it didn't look very inspiring because a lot of it had cracked, and it just sort of looked like a pile of rather uninspiring rubble. But Steve did this phenomenal, amazing job of putting it back together again and recreating it, he had the missing teeth recreated. And just today I've been given my a copy of my Guinness Book of Records certificate for the most complete skull of a pliosaurus. So it's 95% intact based on surface area. So I just got given that today, my copy. And it's just phenomenal. You have to see it in person to appreciate how amazing it is. But it was just one of those sort of magical moments where you're sort of wandering along on the beach, not expecting anything. And as in life, you suddenly get lots of surprises that you're not expecting. And there it was, and what it led to. And as you know, it then, the BBC made it as a television programme called Attenborough and the Giant Sea Monster, and which has given it worldwide fame. When the programme was released, and when the BBC first did their press release, it was in virtually every news outlet all around the world. I saw it in news outlets all across America, Australia, China, Vietnam, South America, South Africa. It was everywhere. And very briefly, on Yahoo News, my picture was above Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump's for one day, which I was very proud of, but it didn't last. Fame is quite fleeting. But there we are. It's the most magnificent skull that you're ever going to see. So if you have a chance, do come along to the Etches collection, because there's so much wonderful stuff here from the Kimmeridge clay. I was amazed. amazement was my first reaction. Because the way things in life happen is, at one level you don't really do anything, because even with this it was just presented at my feet. So I was just minding my own business. I was, to be honest, looking for pliosaurs, but I never expected to find something which was going to be so world famous. So getting the Guinness Book of Records certificate was a great added bonus, and I feel very honoured to have been a part of it. But my contribution was so small because all I did was stumble across it and then put it in a hole, and then I went home and had a cup of tea. Whereas Steve has worked, I would say, tirelessly, first on the excavation, then on the preparation, and he is incredibly modest about it. So the kudos for me all goes for Steve. My role was just being the fellow who happened to be in the right place at the right time. My hope for the future of C-Rex is that the funding will be found to excavate the rest of it, and also there'll be funding for extension to the Etches Collection Museum, which can become the pliosaur wing, because we've got so much pliosaur material, and we're discovering more pliosaur material quite regularly. And it would be so wonderful to have the Etches collection as the world centre for pliosaurs. And if Steve and his team can get the rest of it out, then think of what it's going to look like to have this amazing, virtually almost complete skeleton. I'm not sure how long, 30, 40 foot long, 30 foot long. It's just going to be staggering. And I'm just dying to see when I'm sure Steve will get the rest of it at some point. No one else in the world would have contemplated excavating that whole thing out of a sheer cliff face, 30 foot up and 30 foot down. So if he can do that, he's quite capable of finding a way to excavate the rest of it. And when it's done, it will be such a legacy, and such a legacy so important for paleontology, and such a legacy for Dorset and the Etches collection.
That's all we've got for you today from the Etches collection. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and hopefully we'll see you next time.